Welcome into a brand new Jock Market Power Hour for this week's Masters. I'm Rick Gaiman, that right there, Joe Idoni. Joe, here we go, baby. All in for Masters Week.
All systems go right down Magnolia Lane, buddy. I'm excited to be here with you once again for the PGA Power Hour. We're talking stocks, and we got something new to talk about tonight, which I'm excited about as well.
Yeah, stocks and props. We might need to I guess Power Hour still applies, but yeah, this is now two sides of the game. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks. We've always had the stock market side of things. The props game is now live for the PGA. Could not have been a better time to roll this out. Obviously, the boys over at Jock Market weren't going to miss out on getting some stuff up for the Masters.
Absolutely. The Pick'em stuff is live. They're running a flash sale on sort of an important player this week as well. So I was really excited when you were the first one to text me to show me that they kind of rolled this out this week. Was already quick to sort of dig through some of the numbers and got some of the data pulled up. Happy to talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. So here's where we're at for the next hour or so. We've got the Jock Market, the stock market side of things. Those bids are rolling in right now. You can bid on shares of golfers. That's all happening. That market's going to close right around 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight. So we'll continue to take you through that board, but let's go through the props here out of the gate. And I just have a screenshot just to kind of show people what this looks like a little bit. So you can now, this is not live, but you can now get into on the Jock Market app under the Pick'em side of things, go under PGA. They've got round one strokes. They've got cuts made, which we're going to talk about. They've got round one birdie or better, and they've got the Amen corner props as well. And then you put together the entries, you put your money out there, and you see if you can pick them off.
Yeah, the Amen corner ones are super interesting and intriguing. There's a couple of guys up there now, but yeah, the cuts made, the round one total strokes, birdies are better. All different ways you can add, I believe, up to 5 players in a single sort of prop ticket, as low as 2. There's different ways you can kind of choose whether you want to go all in or hit 2 out of the 3. So there's different ways to sort of play it, and I'm excited to kind of get this going.
Let's start with the strokes side of things. So this is just round one strokes. And you mentioned that they're running a flash sale right now for the next 13 hours. So basically until this thing tees off on Thursday morning for Tiger Woods. They've adjusted his line from 72 to 76 and a half, Joe. So spoiler alert, I'm pretty sure you're going to want the underside of things.
Yeah, take that under to the bank. You know what, Rick? I don't even mind the 72 too much. That's probably right on the verge. I wish it was 72 and a half. We may get there, but I'm very, very confident that Mr. Woods, he's going to play in most of these majors that we've seen him. It feels like he's the freshest. It feels like he's comes out of the gates pretty hot and tends to tail over the weekend. We're going to get the best weather of the week on Thursday as well. It's no surprise here. I love this under.
Yep, I agree with you. I was writing him up for under 73 and a half. So he's gone under 73 and a half in 11 straight opening rounds. It doesn't matter if he's been hurt or not. It's basically a lock that he's been going under 73. Now you're getting 3 additional strokes on that. So you're getting 76 and a half. Like you said, the 72 by itself is not even the end of the world. You expect the best play out of Tiger. We saw him at Riviera. I thought he looked stronger than we have seen him in recent appearances. So yeah, I'm pretty bullish on Tiger, especially early in the week. A little bit worried about Saturday when it's 53 degrees and raining. It would honestly be better for the big cat if that whole day gets washed. But like early in the week, we can start pretty bullish on him.
Yeah, I think reasonable but high expectations for him this week. Under 76.5, lock that in.
The other one that I was looking through was, and I hate to be bearish on Rory because I would love nothing more than to see Rory McIlroy win this, but Jock Market's hanging a 70 on him in round one. He has really struggled in the opening rounds at Augusta in his entire career. So he's only gone 70 or better, which you're asking him to go 79 or 69 or better if you take the under on this, in 19 of his 52 rounds, and the majority of those have been the final round. He's like very rarely done it in the opening round. And ever since he has needed this event to complete the career Grand Slam, his scoring average in round one is 72.3. So it's well documented that he's been a very slow starter out of the gate.
Yeah, it's in the data. Is that only at Augusta or that's all recent round?
Only at Augusta National.
Okay. Well, he's gotten plenty of practice work in, as we know, over the past couple of weeks. So maybe he flushed some of those early week jitters out in the 81 holes or whatever he said he's played so far, warming up for this thing. But yeah, 70 strokes, that is the lowest over under on the entire board in terms of the pick'em. So you've got the data right there that shows that maybe going over there is the right choice.
Anybody else here for round one props that you are intrigued with?
Yeah, I think Brooks's number is a little bit too high at 72.5. That's just basically asking him to shoot level par. I thought that he looked great last week. I followed a lot of the final two rounds that he was able to play in. Obviously, it's a totally different course setup. It's a totally different structure. This is stepping back into the big boy gates. But I do think that the biggest takeaway for me was I think that he looked healthy. And I actually genuinely believe it this time around. So if he's able to come into this event healthy, I think that I can write off the last two Masters appearances that he had. One, which we saw in the documentary, said was the most embarrassing moment of his career. And the year before, he could barely stand up and walk throughout the course. So I think that he's going to have a nice bounce back. I think that he's got a lot of motivation coming into this week, and starting off strong will be important for someone like Brooks, especially in this new sort of environment and endeavor of stepping back into the ropes with the PGA Tour players.
Yeah, I'm not particularly a Brooksy guy, but I'm in this week. I liked everything he said. I like the way he played. I like the way he looks. I agree. I thought he looked healthy. I still watched a lot of him on the range. I thought it was pretty solid stuff. So I'm kind of with you there on Brooks. The fun one, especially because we do get to follow shot by shot around Amen Corner, are these Amen Corner props. So it looks like a couple of these are off the board, but you can get Rahm, Cam Smith, or Max Homa for their Amen Corner stretch in round one. And all of them, Joe, are set at 12.5. If you play Amen Corner 11, 12, and 13 at even par, that's 12. So it's basically saying, are these guys going to play it at level par or better, or one over or worse?
Yeah, this is the most fun one to me. There were some other guys up earlier in the week, like you mentioned. I did some numbers, and going back the last couple of years, it appears like the under is generally a good, profitable bet here in terms of the percentages. I've got Rahm at, let me see here, like 7 of the last 12 going under, Cam 9 of the last 12 going under the 12.5 strokes. Really, it's funny because 11 is one of the toughest holes on the entire course, but the one that gets you in here is that little short little par 3, and it messes people up when they end up making 5 or 6 on that par 3, and is usually the one that implodes it. 13 is going to be interesting as well. Obviously, with the changes to the course, moving it back a little bit, I think we're going to see less eagle opportunities. It's going to play a little bit longer. I don't know that that makes it necessarily less likely to birdie, or could affect the scoring average in terms of what we see in years past. As weird as that is, we didn't really see that effect on number 15. So I think people can lay up there in front of Rays Creek and still make birdie. I like the unders in those bets. I think it's just picking the right one that's going to matter.
Yeah, that's right. I leaned on the unders as well. As you mentioned, Rahm, 7 out of 12 on the under for Amen Corner. Cam Smith, 8 out of 12. The one that was really good earlier in the week was Scotty, 11 out of 12 on the under. But you're right. There is a little bit of like, what's that extra 30 yards or 35 yards going to do to 13? And we'll kind of see how everything shakes out. How about these? Did you see they've got, and I love this, the cuts made props, and it's basically all live guys. It's Bubba, Bryson, Phil, Schwartzel, and then a couple of PGA Tour guys, Horschel and Molinari. And on this one, Joe, you're just deciding over, yes, they make the cut, or under, no, they are not going to make the cut.
Yeah. It's funny, like, that we're at this point now with Bryson, which is pretty random. So this is one of those, I think if you're going to bet these, you got to take the over in terms of saying that they're going to make the cut. Now, you have to pick and choose here the ones that you like the best. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the best one? But there's so few guys in the field. You can kind of cross off maybe a few of the AMs and some of the old guys. We know it's top 50. But it does feel like, to me, I would probably be leaning like Horschel and Bryson in terms of a made cut would be my two.
So at least if you just want to compare this to some sports books here, to make the cut lines, right, is kind of how I would attack this system here. So
Yeah.
Phil Mickelson and Frankie Molinari are even money
Okay.
to make the cut. The other four are much better. Bryson, Billy Horschel, Bubba Watson, and Charles Schwartzel are all minus 175 to make the cut.
Wow, minus 175. That's big.
Yeah, so obviously you take a little bit of juice out of that. Maybe it's, I don't know, 150 or something like that. But yes, that's still generally the side that you are going to want to be on, is those four guys on the over. You can split them up however you like, but that's generally the side that we want to be on here.
Very cool, exciting stuff. Let us know, guys, how you enjoy this, and we'll continue to probably develop more lines and hopefully see some added throughout the week as well. I'm hopeful for.
Yeah, Brett. Mito's line is minus 340 to make the cut. So just saw that while I was going up. Yeah. So get involved in the prop side of things. This is one of those things, Joe, where Jock Market has been so supportive of us that when they release something like this, it is like our duty to be supportive of them. And they do such a great job with it. So the code is POWER. There's a link in the description. You get your deposit bonus. It'll make us look good. It'll get you free money. And then you can get involved on either the Jock Market side of things or on the prop side of things. This is good for everybody.
Good for everybody. I'm excited for it, buddy.
Okay, so we are going to turn our attention now for the next 30 minutes or so to the stock market side of things, the Jock Market. And this is where golfers become stocks, and you can buy and sell and short and trade and all that fun stuff for this week's Masters, not only now, but throughout the entirety of this event. Let's just zoom out for a second, Joe. Augusta National, baby. I mean, this is going to be so good. We've got a great field. The vibes have been seemingly immaculate around this place. Like, this is going to be a lot of fun.
We've been waiting for this for so long. We've been waiting for not only to see Augusta National again on our television screens, but to see these guys all back in the same event, man. It's refreshing. I enjoy the fact that it seems to be everyone is getting along and seemingly excited to see one another and be back competing on the same golf course. I cannot wait for it. We've got sort of the big three coming in with expectations at an all-time high. I cannot remember another Masters with a big three and then seemingly a gap like this. I was looking at the odds from last year's Masters, and there were actually 11 players that closed 21-1 or under. So it was much more balanced. And this year we basically have the big three, and then there's some Spieth numbers that are up there in the 20-1 range. Some can't lay. But it appears that the sports books have given these big three a prohibitive nod in terms of the biggest win equity consumed by those three guys.
When we start looking about this golf course, I think it's very much a tee to green golf course, but we've obviously got a forecast that as of right now looks a little wet and looks like it's going to get a little chilly on the weekend. I don't know if they will have delays or anything like that, but it could be a little chaotic, Joe. And this format of Jock Market, where it's constantly available for trading, you could find some reasonable action spots or buy spots or sell spots or just value spots because of what might happen this week.
100% actionable spots are out there. Look, there's so much unknown right now when trying to predict the weather in terms of other fantasy formats. And am I going to get the wave right? there's so much, like, you have no idea, right? We can guess at it, but a delay here or there, a fog delay early Thursday morning or Friday, and all of a sudden it sets everything off. And where you think you stacked the right wave, you're totally wrong and it gets flipped on its head. The beauty of this is you don't really have to make that decision now. You can go with your picks and you have the ability to either get out of a player shares or add player shares throughout all 72 holes until this thing wraps up. Hopefully, Rick, late Sunday afternoon, and we're able to get it all in this weekend.
Really, hopefully late Sunday afternoon. That's right. All right, let's play bullish or bearish. This is where we target 4 different golfers and we decide, yeah, that's right, whether we are bullish or bearish on them. Let's go with the under the radar one of the big 3, Jon Rahm. His fair value tonight is $9.53. That is a calculation that looks at how often he's going to win the golf tournament and get that full $25 payout, how often he's going to finish in second and get that $20 per share payout, third, fourth, all the way down, and says his fair value, based on everything we know, $9.53, which asks Jon Rahm to finish about 13th or better. Are you bullish or bearish on Rahmbo?
Very much bullish. I actually like his chances best of the big 3, in my opinion.
Wow.
Everything lines up. I don't want to be short-sighted and forget that the guy's basically won 5 of the last 11 times he's stuck a tee in the dirt. He's top 3 in terms of strokes gained at Augusta National over the last 3 years. He's top 3 in terms of strokes gained total overall in the last 50 rounds played. He's an incredible par 5 scorer. He's got hands. He's got moxie. He's got aggression. He's got the ability to sink a putt when it absolutely matters most. I love Jon Rahm this week, a little bit flying under the radar. And the jock market, when you look at the last 10 events that he's played, averaging 30% ROI, oftentimes as the highest IPO player within those markets. Completely impressive. I'm back on the bandwagon this week. It's Rahm time for me.
I might have you might have convinced me there. I think in general, I'm not as excited as you are. I look at some of the results and say, okay, well, he lost a bunch of strokes off the tee at the API, but he kind of fixed that, although it wasn't great afterwards. He kind of got boat raced at the match play, which was weird. And I don't know what the state of his game is. Now, I think what the most interesting part about this is that in almost every other fantasy format, and even like with your betting card, you've got to decide between Scheffler, Rory, and Rahm, right? Like you've got to make a decision. You don't here, right? So if I'm big in on Scotty, which I am, and I want to sprinkle a little bit of Jon Rahm and buy a couple of shares just to kind of allow me to sleep well at night, like that's what I can do. So that's kind of the way that I'll treat this. Is I'll have much larger investments of everybody else, but like this little idea of like let me get like a little sliver of Jon Rahm in my portfolio.
Yeah, you make a great point that you can have all 3. Hypothetically, let's say Scotty wins, Rory finishes 6th, and Rahm finishes 13th. You basically break even on Rahm at $9.50. You make money on Rory finishing at $15 a share, and you go 2.5x on your money on Scotty. You can grab all 3 and go like 3-4x on your money just by them all basically top 15ing in this event. And you have the winner. You have like how much win equity when you have those 3 guys based on the
yeah, you've got like 40% of it or
30-40%.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you've got a lot of it. You're right. That really good illustration there. Okay, well, let's go to the golden boy around Augusta National. His name is Jordan Spieth, and when you look at his fair value tonight, Joe, you are going to they are going to make me scroll on Jordan, aren't they? What is his? Oh, here he is. 18th in the pre-rank. They did him dirty. $5.49 per share. That is going to ask Jordan to finish 30th or better. I guarantee he beats that tonight. But are you bullish or bearish on Jordan?
Okay, so let's make up our own fair value projection here, because I don't think that that's accurate. Let's say you're asking him around $7.80, which would probably put him around like 5th or 6th, right? I would go bearish on him.
16th,
actually,
right?
What's that?
15th or 16th, right?
Yes, 15th or 16th, correct. I'll say bearish on him. I'm just not as high on him this week, to be honest. I think that the public perception is that this is his spot. I do think that he's been playing very well in general, but there are just some other players around him I think that I would prefer. And I think you're getting a discount on those other players because it's Spieth at the Masters and how much it means to him. You look at the last couple of performances, though, 21st, 46, a third in there, but a miscut. In 3 of those 4, he's probably losing you money based on the fair value projection that you see tonight. I'll say bearish, man. I don't really know why, but I'm not feeling it.
Shame on you. You just don't like fun. You just do not like fun. Jordan Spieth around Augusta National is like the most fun thing you could possibly do. I mean, we've talked about this a lot, right? I mean, he plays golf. He probably plays more golf than anybody instead of just like going to the range, right? Like he just goes and plays, and he is so good on these uneven lies and being creative and tapping into that side of the brain. He's flushing it on approach again. His driver's been like kind of cooperating, and it is very, very ugly on the greens, but he's getting the job done. I am in on Jordan around this joint.
I love what you said there, how like he doesn't golf, he plays golf.
Yeah. He's literally playing. It's like, he's in the sandbox, man. He's just trying to like figure it out as he goes along. And a lot of times around this place, he definitely does. We haven't even mentioned the word yet. We got to talk about some live guys. That's what we got working on here. So this is an injection of golfers that we have not seen in the jock market for quite some time, and an injection of golfers where the state of their game and the impressiveness of their performances is very much up for debate. The one we're going to talk about specifically here at this moment is Brooks Koepka, who is coming off the win at Live Golf Orlando last week. His fair value tonight is 381. That's going to ask him to finish 44th or better. Again, I think he's going to outpace that. The last 4 times we saw Brooks in the jock market, he lost in all 4, but that was the Open Championship was the last one. It's been a while. So where do we stand on Brooksy and this week at the Masters?
Cautiously bullish. The reason I'm cautiously bullish, Rick, I'm looking on your website right now. His golfer profile over the last 20 markets, the last 20 jock markets he's been in. What do you think the over-under is on how many? Oh, don't look. On how many he returned you a profit in.
I bet you he returned a profit in 4.
3.
Oh my God. I thought I was guessing low.
You're too good. He's been so bad. Minus 44% ROI over those 20. It's been an absolute bloodbath. Different player. Look, I think the biggest question mark for a lot of the live guys that the most of us have that we'll probably get answers to this week is what's their level of preparedness? Are they prepared to play in a fully competitive golf tournament for 4 days? I don't really have those questions with Brooks. I know that he takes majors as serious as absolutely anybody. I know how much the Masters means to him as a player and how much that he wants to come out here and prove to his fellow competitors that he can still do it. Good performance last week, not so much on the result, but just in watching him play, being able to sort of get through on that knee, move around with sort of the confidence that we're used to seeing him. He looked at a good, like, body weight and in decent shape that I like to see him in. So I'm very confident and have some pretty high expectations this week. I think that some of it, I almost kind of wish that he didn't win last week. So I think he's going to be very popular. So a lot of people may gravitate toward his name. I'll still say bullish.
I'm with you. And I'm not generally in on Brooks, but I think that for the first time in a long time, he has looked healthy. He's looked athletic. He has looked strong. Saw a little bit of the live event last week, but like, this week on the range, I think he's saying all the right thing. I think he's ready to go. And when you get a healthy Brooks at a major, I know I start trembling in my boots a little bit. And I've done basically everything but bet him outright. He just didn't make my card, but I've got a lot of exposure in our season-long leagues. I have a lot of exposure in like some big one and dones. I've got a lot of exposure. Like I'll have a lot of investment in Brooks having a good week this week.
Let's go. Brent's shorting him, he says.
Good luck.
Good luck, buddy.
I'm gonna text that to Brooks and get like he just looks for anything for a chip on his shoulder. I'll be like, Brent Harris is shorting you in the jock market.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll get a lot of shorts on the live guys, if that's just a general narrative of like fading them this week. Not so much because of the whole they play for live thing, but just because maybe, like I said, a lack of preparedness for them coming into this event.
Yeah, remember, so we've got IPOs shorting now. So if you do not like Brooks, or you do not like Bryson, or you do not like Jordan Spieth or Colin Moore or anybody you want, and you think that they are going to underperform compared to their price, you can short them. We got a very savvy short from you, Joe, on Patrick Rogers a couple of weeks ago, where I think he just barely made the cut, but he finished like 60 something or whatever, right? But it was
right.
A very savvy short. The guy that I shorted most recently was Seamus Power, who won the golf tournament. And then he made 2 aces on back-to-back swings today. Did you see that in the par 3 contest?
Oh, on back-to-back?
Back-to-back.
Wow.
Back-to-back swings.
That's unbelievable.
Ace. That's insanity.
Insanity.
Used all his good juju today instead of saving it for the week. All right, our final golfer here. This guy, I think, is like maybe one of the most interesting names in the field this week. It's Will Zalatoris. He's 17th in the pre-rank. His fair value is $5.85. That is asking Will to finish about 29th or better. I don't know, Joe. If he finished third, I wouldn't be surprised. If he finished 43rd, I wouldn't be surprised. I just really do not know what to expect from him.
Yeah, if he finished third, I think I would be surprised. I'm not very high on Will Zalatoris. I kind of haven't been this season. Something isn't right, and I can't necessarily put my finger on it because it does appear that at times the ball striking numbers have looked very good, but I think that he's still getting used to a new swing pattern in which he's not quite settled into right now. The putting, we understand and we know about that, but I just don't think that he comes into this event with the confidence that he had the past couple of years coming into this event. And it's like, he kind of reminds me, and I talked to John Hasselbauer a little bit about this. He kind of has a little bit of Brooks in him where he puts so much care into these huge events that when things aren't going well, he can get a little pouty and he can start to get down on himself and start to doubt himself, where the confidence can work for him in such a good way when things are going well. I think it can also negatively impact him when things aren't going well. So the expectations of kind of having an underwhelming year and everyone loving him coming back to the Masters and having very high expectations of him this week. If things don't start off well, I don't love the chances. You see the graph sort of trending down in the wrong direction a bit for Will Zalatoris this week. I'll say bearish.
I am generally with you. I think that from a statistical perspective, you have 2 versions of Will. You have pre-injury, which is the elite ball striking, all that fun stuff. And then since that injury, we've not, I mean, you can see it. Here's that pale green to pale red column. It's not the same. I don't care what you, it's not the same. And then you've got this dark red stuff that I'm a little bit worried about, which is the short game numbers. I mean, he's been better at Augusta National, but I think this is kind of a big ask to really make an investment on Will. So I'm with you. I'm pretty bearish here.
Yep.
How about this? We'll add a third guy here because Pony's Picks just hit us with a super chat. He wants to know about Louis Oosthuizen and if Shrek needs some new farm equipment this year, because that's how we know that Louis spends all of his funds. So thank you, Pony's Picks. But what do you think, Joe? He's going to be priced in a way that you could probably get a pretty good deal on Louis.
Yeah, I so randomly got into that playoff in Orlando, but before that just had not looked very good in the majority of the live events. I saw him a little bit in Miami, although he finished 4th there. He struggled kind of down the stretch. I don't know, man. Cautiously, I guess, optimistic depending on price, but I haven't seen enough positive in terms of the form to think that he's really going to show up here in like top 20.
All right, well, I'm more bullish on him than you are. I think he does. I think he does need a little new farm equipment for this week. Okay, that concludes our bullish or bearish segment. So we are about to unveil the big board. We've got the live pricing for the market for the rest of the way. It's got about 15 minutes to go. And if you are looking to get involved in either the stock market side of things or the prop side of things, the code you're looking for there is POWER. Link in the description. Get your deposit bonus. We talked about it earlier. They've got a flash sale on Tiger Woods. They have upped his round one strokes to 76.5. They've got the Amen corner props as well. It's a lot of good stuff going on over at Jock Market. But let me give this big board a refresh tonight. Right now, Joe, I imagine, is there any scenario in which the big three are not the big three and we're just going to try to figure out what order and who is fourth?
No scenario in which those are not the big three. No, but what's interesting is going to be fourth. Is it Cantlay? Is it Spieth? Or does maybe Justin Thomas make a run at it?
All right. Well, as of right now, and here's the big board live pricing. John Rahm's slow to make a move. He's only $1.76 right now. That will change. The most expensive golfer in the market, yeah, Scotty Scheffler. He has already smashed his fair value of $9.73. He has $11.50 right now with 15 minutes to go. That is asking Scotty to finish ninth or better. I love Scotty. We are starting to get to the upper end of things here, my friend.
Yeah. What price would you go in? Are you still do you
I
still
don't
love Scotty at 1150?
don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I mean, I guess technically he's minus 150 to finish inside the top 10. This is asking him to finish ninth, but like, boy, there is not a lot of wiggle room there.
Yeah, and it's kind of strange how it works because I'm the same way. And like they get to that point, that dollar amount, and you're like, I'm out. But really, we're talking about one finishing position on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
You know, it's not all that much. But yeah, it does feel like looking back, I had the data up. I wonder if I still have it from last year's Masters, but nobody got near 1150. I know that.
Oh, I can look it up for you here in just a second. While I do that, talk about the second most expensive golfer in the market right now. It's Rory McIlroy. He's 1050, so that's asking Rory to finish 11th or better. Again, he's not done, but we are trending towards some big names at the top here.
Yeah, both of them. I think Rory probably gets to 11. Both have just been so popular and with good reason. They've both been crushing at tee to green. It's been one of those interesting seasons all around where we have seen like the top names sort of elevate from the rest of the field. There you have last year's numbers. So 988, 1-2, Rahm and Thomas. Nobody cleared 10.
We are smashing that right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely smashed. So only two golfers above 856. Both Thomas and Rahm were 988. So a much I don't want to say cheaper, but a much cheaper IPO last year. Number 3 right now is Tony Finau. I could not be more lukewarm on Tony. Like, I respect it, I like it, but I just don't find myself investing in him at this point.
I agree with you. So I was not anticipating liking Tony Finau this week. And one of the first pieces that I did of content this week was a piece for Tour Junkies called 10 Stats to Live By, where I do a deep dive into 10 sort of intricate stats with different filters and all these things. And Tony Finau's name just kept popping up in every single one of them. Solid around Augusta National. I think there's a situation where he has a pretty high floor this week in terms of how low he can finish. Do I expect him to win? I don't know if that's ready right now based on where his game is currently sitting at, but the guy rolls it really well here and on bent grass in general. So maybe a comfort zone for him getting back on these greens.
How about, I mean, this is what I love about the Masters and major championships in general, and now these elevated events is just the next set of names. Jason Day, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, Colin Morikawa, Sung J M. That's like your $6 to $7 range. Where are we allocating our funds here, Joe?
I think I like Justin Thomas, man.
Oh man, you know what? As the week has gone on, I've been like, holy Nikes, this dude's gonna burn us and win it.
It feels like he's gone since the last time we saw him at Valspar. It feels like he's gone like Bruce Wayne, dark, like in the Batcave, just like silent on social media, just working on his stuff. And what I really love there, Rick, is the ability to get there from tee to green, right? The around the green is fantastic. When you look at winners at the Masters, they don't have to be great putters. Sergio Garcia, Bubba Watson, Phil Mickelson, Adam Scott. To be honest, Scotty Scheffler, if he had a weakness, it's probably putting. Justin Thomas, that's his clear weakness. I think that he can get around it. He's a wizard around the greens. He's got a great caddy with plenty of experience on the bag. I kind of took a shot at JT a few weeks ago where I basically at the Players Championship where I said, I think what's kind of hurting him is trying to be so creative and hit all these different shot shapes. Hit a high cut, followed by a low hook, followed by a stinger draw. He has every shot in the bag, but the modern player doesn't necessarily do that. They perform a consistent shot over and over. This is like that course that kind of rewards that creativity and shot making, and I think brings the best out of a player like Justin Thomas. I think he's sneaky, and I kind of like him.
$5 right now, or in the $5 range, and I'll refresh this in a second. Hideki, 576, Dustin Johnson, 555, Patrick Cantlay, 555, and Justin Rose, 509. That price is going to ask them to finish inside the top 30. If they get to the mid sixes, it's basically a top 25 finish, Joe. I'm pretty much in on Hideki out of that group, but is there anybody else that you think is a better option?
I mean, Cantlay, but he's not going to go for that price, of course. I think Hideki would be my guy. I am high on Rose, but Hideki more so if they're both around the same price. In DJ, to be honest, I don't really love it. The driver's really been all over the place. He hit a couple of like hooks off the tee that really had him baffled in Orlando. And I think that he's really kind of searching with that club right now and out of his comfort zone. And when he's playing his best, he doesn't even have to think about driver. He knows exactly where it's going to go off the tee, and that sets him up for the other parts of his game.
The $5, well, now it's the $5 range down to the fours is kind of like your Victor Hovland, Corey Connors. Get a little bit of Shane Lowry in here. You get a little Mito Pereira. That 483, that is basically asking them to finish 35th or better. So you bump it up a little bit over the course of the next couple minutes, and you're probably asking them to finish inside the top 28 or so. Anybody, I mean, look at Xander still lurking down here at 444, and Joaquin Niemann as well with a pretty decent pre-rank.
Yes, Xander's surprising there. I mean, I like Vic, right? I love Vic and Jock Market this week. I think that he's a good play. Any thoughts on the grouping with Tiger? Negative or positive or just the same?
I generally do not think playing with Tiger Woods, especially at the Masters, is a good thing. I don't. It's going to be a freaking circus. It was a circus at Riviera. It's going to be a circus. I do not love that. I will say Victor's taking it in stride. He thinks it's going to be a cool opportunity and he's excited about it and all that fun stuff. But I think in general, I just do not like that for guys.
Inside scoop there. You love to hear it. Yeah, the ball striking numbers have been pretty incredible lately. He says that he's made some significant, I don't know if I would say changes, but modifications to how he plays shots around the greens in preparation for Augusta National, which I'm very intrigued and interested to see kind of how that plays out for him. And I'm hopeful, to be honest. Like there's really no going down from where he was. So hopefully these changes and the hard work for him, we can see some results pay off.
Okay, I actually got to get you out of here, Joe, here in just a second, because we got about 7 minutes until yeah, I know. We went a lot of stuff we had to talk about here until we get this thing rock and roll. We got about 7 minutes for these bids to come in. So Power is the code you're looking for. There's a link in the description. I'm going to let Joe go put his bids in. He's going to battle with you guys. Now, any changes in strategy for tonight? You've been on a great run. You've been You've been smashing these markets. You've been taking everybody's money. Anything going to change, or are we sticking to the plan?
No, we're sticking to the formula, baby. We are red hot coming into this event. 5 straight weeks in the top 25. I texted my guy, our guy Dave, earlier today. I was like, how many people are in these things? He said 500 plus people are in these PGA markets. I'm on a run of 5 straight top 25s. I'm going to keep it going tonight. Portfolio revealed here in about 5 minutes.
All right. Portfolio revealed here in about 7 minutes or so. So we have got, I'll take you the rest of the way. So we are shaping up in this market. Scotty at 1150. He hasn't moved off of that. He's been a winner in 2 straight. He's been a winner in 3 of his last 4 Jock markets. In fact, the only loss that he had in the oh my gosh, look at this. The only loss that he's had in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 markets was a 1% loss at Riviera. I think we can survive on that one. Scotty's been red hot. Rory McIlroy, 1061. He had a couple of losses here recently. 3 out of his last 4 have been losers, but when he wins big. He's got a new driver in the bag. He's got a new putter in the bag. Both of those worked very well at the match play, and he is looking for that green jacket and trying to complete the career Grand Slam. There's the movement that we were expecting to see on Jon Rahm. 801 now. So he was a late starter, but in come the bids on Rombo with Patrick Cantlay following suit at 779. Let's go a little bit further down the board. Some of the guys that we haven't really talked about in depth as of yet. I'll just give you a quick update on Brooks Koepka. He's 475 per share right now. That is going to currently ask Brooks to finish about 36th or better. If you think Brooks can do that, you're a buyer at 475. Tom Kim got a little experience, a little lesson from Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods and Fred Couples earlier this week in a practice round, and might need it. Tom Kim in the skids at the moment, 4 straight losses and 5 out of 6 for Kim in the Jock market. He's $4.44 at the second. I like Keegan, 428. He's $1.40 below his fair value. He is 24th in the pre-rank, and the pre-rank is important. That's how we break ties around here, and that is asking him to finish 40th or better. I remember a small but stacked field at the Zozo Championship that Keegan Bradley won earlier this year, and he's been playing well with a couple of close calls at Torrey Pines, and he played well at Bay Hill, and he played well in Phoenix, and Keegan's just kind of quietly playing great golf right now. Speaking of quietly playing great golf right now, throw Danny Willett into the mix. 5 straight wins in the Jock market. He has been great from tee to green ever since he won his green jacket. He struggled a little bit at the Masters after that, but he has started to put it back together with 2 solid finishes in his last 3 trips. He's 406. Below 406. Oh, I know this name. Tiger Woods, $3.75 a share. I'll refresh this because I think he's going to go for a little bit more than that. 375 is asking the big cat to finish 45th or better. While I refresh this, let me play a scenario out for you. This is the Jock market. You can get in and out anytime you want. So if you get in on Tiger now and he starts playing well for the first couple of rounds, which we kind of expect him to do, and then you think, that Saturday looks a little cold, it looks a little windy, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get on in on Tiger anymore. You could get out. You could get out of Tiger. You could sell him after the first round or 2. Currently up to $4.09. We've got a past champion here at 401 in Adam Scott. I wish he was playing a little bit better. It's kind of been a win-loss situation for Adam Scott in the Jock market, but the advanced metrics, I was hoping would be a little bit better this week. You willing to take a chance on Bryson? He's $3.09. That is asking Bryson DeChambeau. Bryson DeChambeau, he was like the number 2 player in the world at one point. Maybe not. Maybe number 5. To finish 52nd or better in a field of 88 golfers at Augusta National. Crazy where we have gone with Bryson DeChambeau. But hey, what's going on? 309 for Bryson. Let's go to the second page. It's not a very big second page. Oh, the love for Gordon Sargent rolls on. Gordon Sargent, if you don't know who this kid is, you're going to know. He is a sophomore at Vanderbilt. He won the NCAAs last year. He can move it. If you took his average ball speed and you put him on the PGA Tour right now, he'd be the 5th longest driver on the PGA Tour. He's absolutely sick. And Rory McIlroy called him the best amateur he's ever played with. And Max Homa had nothing but glowing remarks for Gordon Sargent, the sophomore out of Vanderbilt. Phil Mickelson, feeling frisky? Phil Mickelson, 208 per share. His fair value is $1.06. It has been a long time since Phil was a winner in the Jock market. Obviously, it doesn't play primarily on the PGA Tour anymore, but 5 consecutive losses for Phil. And I think that's the notables here on the second page. Let me refresh this. By my clock, it's 8:58. So we've got about 1 or 2 more minutes until this market closes, and we are going to see how it shapes up. So you got to get your bids in. You got to get them in here quickly if you want to be part of this IPO. It is interesting to see what's happened here because Scotty Scheffler is bearing down on $12 a share. Rory McIlroy is bearing down on $12 a share. And Jon Rahm is trying to break through $10. Maybe sentiment on Rahm is not nearly as high as we've once seen. The guy who has always been the king of this Jock market, not so much tonight. Patrick Cantlay carving out a really nice spot for himself as the 4th most expensive golfer. Are we done?
No.
Oh, okay.
Still
So
live.
880 for Patrick Cantlay right now. That is asking Patrick Cantlay to finish 15th or better. It's actually not bad for Pat Cantlay. Tony Finau, 799. Jordan Spieth, 777. Bad pre-rank for Jordan Spieth. Xander Schauffele, 775. And Justin Thomas at 750. Couple other movers here. DJ up to 713. Cam Smith, haven't mentioned him yet. The 8th pre-ranked golfer, $7.17 per share right now for Cam Smith, with Max Homa at $7 flat. That $7 mark is the 22nd place mark. That's the fair value finishing position for $7 per share. Corey Connors coming off victory at the Texas Open, $6 a share. He was a big returner, obviously, last week, 250% ROI. He's been a winner in 2 of his last 3.
Shut her down, baby.
It's over.
Ring the bell. Markets are live.
It is over. IPO is closed. So where we're at right now is IPO is finished, but the live market has begun. We're going to let the dust settle here in just a second. Make sure we have the final pricing. We're going to hear Joe's portfolio. If you want to get involved, and it's not like you're late or anything, you can still go get involved. The code you're looking for is POWER. There's a link in the description. Get your deposit bonus. Take the money, put it in the market, put it in the props, do whatever you want. Okay, Joe, going for 6 in a row. Describe to me the portfolio that will be the 6th top 25 position in a row.
The Brahma Bull, John Rahm.
Yeah.
$10 even per share.
Which is 12th?
12th.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. 12 or better. Top 10 will be good to me this week. Moving down, Justin Thomas, $7.50 per share.
I'm worried Thomas is just going to win this thing.
I know. I like it.
Every day this week, I've gotten more and more like, God, he's going to win it. I can feel it.
Moving down, Cameron Young. We didn't speak about Cam Young, but 688 I thought was a decent price on him. And then I got all the way down into a bunch of guys in the $3 and $4 range. Adam Scott, $4. Tom Hoagie, $4.20. Abe Answer, $3.93, sub $4. Danny Willett, $4.12. Oh, Brooks, I forgot about Brooks at $5 per share. Ryan Fox, and then Sam Bennett at $1.63 per share. Maybe a little overlooked with all the Sargent love this week. Sam Bennett, kind of frustrating to watch, but won the AM last year. $1.63. I just need him to make the cut. I'll be good.
John Rahm, Justin Thomas, Cam Young, Adam Scott, Tom Hoagie, Abraham Answer, Danny Willett, Brooks Koepka, Ryan Fox, and Sam Bennett, the amateur. Awesome. I love that. All 7 amateurs this week will spend at least one night in the crow's nest. I saw that.
You love to hear it.
Love to hear it. So sick. Great tradition. That is Joe's portfolio. We want to hear who you got while I refresh the big board and make sure that I got all of the correct pricing. Brett says, one-man team again this week. Colin, $7.76. Let's go. That's pretty cheap.
That is cheap.
Kevin got, it's been like 6 months. I finally get Kevin's username. So it's Kevin89, like 789. Kevin, took me about a year, Kevin, but I got you, bud. I got you pinned.
Clever, Kev.
Yeah, nothing gets by me for after a year. Scotty, Rory, DJ, Keegan, Spieth, Minwoo Lee, Brooks Koepka, Kurt Kitayama, and there's a little Gordon Sargent. Eddie got Keegan, Adam Scott, Tom Hoagie. That's a nice, tight little portfolio. Patrick Cantlay, DJ, Brooks, Bryson, and Sargent for Brett. Brooks and Bryson in the same portfolio. You love to see that. Brent got KH Lee. This is a big one. This is Brent. Brent likes the low cheapies, guys. So KH Lee, Harmon, Billy Horschel, Charles, Danny Willett, what is that? Harris English, Sepp Straka, Taylor Moore, Jason Kokrak, JT Poston, Frankie, Cam Champ, VJ, and Mike Weir. There you go. All right, so let's look at this. The big 2 standalone. $11.95 for Scotty, $11.77 for Rory. So that is basically 8th or better for those guys, Joe. Too much or just right?
Too much for me. I'll take the discount on Rahm. I have them all rated fairly equal, so that's why I went Rahm.
Yep. I think in this market that is about right. They're all basically the same. So why not take the guy who has to finish 12th or better? Cantlay 880. So Cantlay was the fourth guy. I would have made, if it was me, I would have had Spieth here. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue this too much.
Yeah, it kind of mirrors this. All kind of sort of mirrors the odds board. Finau's the surprising one, right? Like jumping Spieth.
Yeah. Which makes me think he's going to be very popular in a lot of other formats, right? I mean, this is really what I like about this is there is nothing else like true sentiment of literally putting your money where your mouth is on Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's a nice litmus test for sure.
Spieth at 787. So here's the $7 range. It's packed with studs. It's Spieth, it's Xander, it's JT, Jason Day, Cam Smith, Dustin Johnson, Max Homa. That is generally asking him to finish about top 20. I'm not going to make an argument that these stallions are not going to finish inside the top 20. I think that's pretty fair for everybody.
Yeah, Jason Day's been doing it pretty easily. It was interesting to hear his presser how I don't want to say not confident, but how many concerns that he still has with a lot of his game, even though he's playing so well. So we'll see if that can sort of ring true and he can get back. He had a couple of great performances at Augusta National early on in his career before finally missing out last year and not qualifying. So good to see him back. Good to see him playing well.
The sentiment around Morikawa is interesting.
Yeah.
10th pre-ranked golfer, 676, asking him to finish 23rd or better. Has like the wet wind thing gotten people scared?
Maybe now that you mention it, that could have people scared. I don't know. I think it's just been a little underwhelming for the most part all year, and was kind of popped early, but lately hasn't shown the same exact form. So I think they got it. I mean, if I had to pick one, Vic or Colin, I think I'd take Victor right now.
You got Brooks Koepka at $5 a share. That is 30th or better. What did I just look at? $5 a share is 34th or better. That's, buddy, I think you might like that come Sunday night.
Yeah, I think that if he starts well, he could be the live guy that has people concerned on Sunday if he can get off to a good start.
40th or better for Tiger. That's what that is. Let's see what his top 40 number is. His top 40 number is, and I guess the markets are probably going to be a little bit higher than
they're all over the place too on Tiger, depending on the book.
Minus 175 is what I saw. So that's a pretty good price you got on Tiger there. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good price. I like what you said about Tiger. If you have shares now, and I have had shares of Tiger in a couple of events, and I didn't do this, I think it'd be wise if he starts out hot to consider at least offing a couple of those shares maybe on Friday or Saturday morning as things go into the weekend if he's in a good position, because what we have seen is kind of that sort of fall as time goes on and as more holes are accumulated and as the walk begins to take its toll up and down the wet Augusta National. I think he starts off nice and probably could fade over the weekend.
He is best off if Saturday gets completely washed out. He would get.
So you're okay with him playing 36 on Sunday just because it's better weather?
No, I didn't really consider that. I was just thinking, they would just make it Monday, like
make a Monday finish.
Yeah,
okay.
No, I'm not really okay with that. But I'm okay with him avoiding the coldest day and getting a day of rest. Like imagine if you just had an off day in the middle of a tournament.
That's a great point.
Like that works best for Tiger over anybody.
Yeah. Yes, you're right.
Somebody asked in the chat where Gooch finished, $4.15, which is 41st or better. So, we'll see about that.
Bryson 311, man, he was like you had mentioned it as things were closing down. I don't know if it was 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. He was the favorite coming into the week at the Masters.
Was that when he called it a par 67?
Yeah, he was like plus. He was Scheffler's number. Insane.
It's wild. I mean, the rise and fall, and I don't know if there'll be another rise, but it's been a crazy story for Bryson. Okay, well, we've only just begun. Obviously, tomorrow morning we are kicking this bad boy off. It's going to be phenomenal, and there are not waves. It's a sequential tee time, so you're going to have kind of a lot of time to be taking in the asks and all that fun stuff and bids that you get in the market and getting your props in. So. It's going to be a great time, Joe. And if you think if you think we're slowing down anytime soon, next week's an elevated event.
What do we got next week? I don't even. Oh, it's Heritage?
RBC Heritage, yeah.
Yeah, baby. Okay. All right. Next week, back to elevated events. We'll see you Wednesday night. We'll do it all over again. Enjoy the Masters, everyone. Have a great week, and hope you all are profitable.
Use the code POWER and follow Joe on Twitter at TorPicks. You can find me at RickRunGood. This has been your Jock Market Power Hour for the Masters. Good luck.